Welcome to I don't have money, time, and effort for outros. So I'm using a template channel.
So starting off with the program, let's see the output first. Oh, my bad. First the loading screen, some pause, and there you go, a login page. You just enter your user ID, whether you have it or not. Or the user ID is an integer form. So even the PIN. So this is a JPassword field made using the JPassword field class. This one component. And then you have the login button with some functions, reset to clear the text fields, and then there's another button to create a new account button. When you press it, you just enter your name, your date of birth, your address, and then there's another text field. So, this is actually not editable like the other ones. You cannot edit this. And then this text field is for displaying the generated user ID and pins. So if you finish creating it, you can press it and you can create an account. If you fill in all of these, and some these dialogues are from the JOption Paint class. So the exceptions has been handled, and these are the exception handled methods here. Made using those. And if you enter, like, let's just create a new account, let's say XAMPP. I'm using XAMPP for the database, the MySQL database. Okay, and then let me just create a new account here. Let's say, okay, date of birth, whenever it is. Okay, wait a minute, that's wrong. 25th 9 2002. My address and my board. And then you finish creating it. Okay, ID and PIN has been generated, and using this database, we just see it here. The database account info. The database is account info. It has account information table here, and our information has been entered into this. And you can even see it inside our terminal here, IntelliJ's terminal. You see the table has been created successfully, and the account is also created successfully. And now, looking at that output, we have our user ID generated and also our password. And let's just take this. Okay, I'm just gonna copy it, and 7240 is the pin. 7240 is the pin, and we log in into it. It works because it exists now, because we created it. So here is our ATM simulation. So this is our main screen. There are multiple functions here, just like what's in the normal ATMs you see in towns. So I stole this background image. So with these many functions, I saw it from Google, and I think it was ATM user interface prototype of some Indian ATM. So I'm really sorry for stealing it, and multiple functions are there. So about this one, the exit the ATM function. So you can see I actually downloaded an icon, set it into the label here, actually a panel, which is then added into the JFrame. I also drew a string on it. So this is exit the ATM string here. I drew a string here, and it hides another function. It is put on over another function, which I didn't like, and I had to put in the exit function no matter what. I mean, it's absolutely necessary anyways. So the most useless function here is this one. So it's a balance inquiry. So it will give nothing other than inquiry information. So where you could contact the bank, right? The bank related to the ATM. So it's useless, and I stole it because it looks good, as you can see here. And if you look at it, it says on the bank. So it is a bank in India, I guess. I'm really sorry. Please don't report me. I really needed it. Well, it was pretty useless anyways, but okay. And the first function is pretty obvious. You transfer funds into another account, so it's obvious. And this mini statement shows the information about your account. So it will show your username, your user ID, your date of birth, the age, which is calculated from the date of birth you gave earlier, and then the savings account balance, checking account balance, and also the saving account balance interest. So you can see a little bit of inconvenience in the graphics here. You can maybe adjust it a little bit, okay? So it's pretty easy, okay? So yeah, it also makes the calculates the interest. So as far as I know, savings account balance weight of interest is actually more than that of checking account balances weight of interest. So you can see next one is fast cash method, where you withdraw uh, a fixed amount of money instantly without having to enter the amount, and just withdrawing some money, cash from your account and depositing into it, and then the pin change. So transfer funds. Let's try our transfer fund function, and it will ask you to enter the account number. You just enter some random number, and you can see that as you can see a direction given here. So press enter key after writing the account number. So you just enter some random number, and if you enter some kind of words, then it will give you a warning. It's a J option pane dialog, so that so you don't have to, your program does not have to undergo an error if you somehow enter words. So this is made with the logic of exception handling. So if you enter the wrong information into the text field, it will generate an exception. Most commonly, it is number format exception. So if you enter that wrong information, like string, into a text field that asks for numbers, it will generate number format exception. And when you handle that exception, or with methods such as the try catch block, you just put in the J option pane dialog into the catch block. All right. I'm sorry about that. And it will show you the warning. So if you enter a number, more specifically an integer, it will not give you an error, and you'll go to the next part of the program, and it will ask you to enter the amount you want to actually deposit into that account. So if I enter any number, it will give me a warning again. Balance cannot be negative because I'm broke. As you saw earlier, I don't have any money. It was zero, neutrum zero. If you're wondering what is neutrum, which country uses that currency, it's Bhutan. Right, just for your information. And so transfer funds actually withdraw deposits from your account, or if you specifically the savings account. So, and fast cash and withdrawal function, they withdraw from your checking account. So I have to so it will give me the same warning if I try to withdraw from there. Balance cannot be negative checking account, and if you do it fast cash, as I said, instant withdrawal in fixed amounts, so balance cannot be negative again. So I have to deposit some money into it, right? So if you also check the database, so we take our information from the database, all right? So even our mini statement actually takes our data from our information from the database. So let's wait a little bit, and this is our database, the one where our information exists at the table, account information, and here you go, account holder information, and yeah, all of that. You can also see our SAP and CAP, which is savings account balance and checking account balance. It's zero, both of them. And I want to enter some deposit some money. So let's just enter about a million. Okay. If you can see here, there's a confirmation J option pane dialog, confirm dialog actually. And if I press yes, it will save it into my savings account. If I press no, it will save it into my checking account. So I'll choose savings account for the first iteration. Let's go. And if you check our mini state now, you'll see that our balance, savings account balance, is actually almost about 1,999,999, and the the balance is also the interest is also generated here. If you check our database as well, the table, you have to refresh it first. You see 999,000. So let's try to deposit some number into some random account. Integer numbers only. So if we enter like, what should we enter now? Let's say I'm gonna enter about 10,000. So I'm transferring it. I transferred it. Checking our mini statement, you can see about 10,000 have about 9,999 has been subtracted. Even our there is some changes made in our interest as well. So let's go check it in our database as well. Yeah, there is changes made, and similar with that. But yes, as I said earlier, it takes from the checking account. So you deposit some into the checking account. I'll just do a little bit of it, okay? Let's deposit still about a million, a lot less. If you press no, it will be saved in our checking account. Let's check it out. Okay, same. I'll just do a fast cash method, and let's get this done with. Okay, so let's check our mini statement. Yeah, same. Okay, it's gonna be same with the withdrawal function as well. And now let's check out our pin change. So about this pin change, I did a lot of changes, modifications over the due course of time. Well, this was actually my assignment, and when I had to submit this assignment, I had just done a half-assed work. I just copied the codes from the internet, the pin change codes, and just pasted it. And afterwards, after I submitted it, I thought maybe I could do better work, like some changes. Some features like how users could choose possibly the same uh, pins like other users as well. It's not always sure that many would choose the same kind of pin, but people might choose the same kind of pin, right? There's always a chance. So those kinds of situations weren't taken for granted. So putting those situations into reality and thinking these kinds of problems may occur, and so that I can have more features, or should I say more flexibility into my program. So I just explored the way all the way up till then, using hash maps, using the logic of for loops and iterations for each. I finally came up with some ideas. You can check it out yourself. And let's see now. If I enter some word, obviously, those exception handling methods I explained earlier, I use it in throughout all of the programs, those whichever part of the program which is text fields. And there's also one more thing. In these text fields, we can actually make some numbers appear, be printed onto the text fields by pressing these buttons here. You can see it here. If I press 7, 8, 9, all those can appear. I mean, those can function as well. It's just like how you entered numbers here, right? And this cancel is just like a delete button, and this clear button can just clear the text field. That's all. And I don't want to use this much because it's kind of a pain in the ass, but I just made it so that it can look better. But I don't know, kind of looked average. And you can see if you look into it properly, these buttons don't really look that good because you could see. I mean, I could have used JavaFX, but I don't have any experience whatsoever. I couldn't use it, so I stopped it and just did the harder work myself. I took this image again from Google. I stole it again. I'm sorry, really sorry. Please don't report me. And yes, these keypads, the number pads, are separate entity from this ATM. I mean, below this number pad, there's another number pad too, but it doesn't look that good. So I took it from another image, and then these numbers behind those buttons as well, they exist as separate entities as well. And these, I crop each of these number pads and then paste it onto it, similar with all these buttons except for these 3 empty ones. Enter as well. Enter button only appears in transfer button because we have a direction, right? After you enter, like if you want to check out, the enter button only appears when we enter the transfer function. That's all. The logics are very simple. You can actually use it as well. So let's proceed with our pin change without further ado. This exception, we were in exception handling. Like those methods were all actually used for all parts of the program which had text fields. And yes, the logic is very simple. I used flags which have Boolean values. So it's a very simple method. I first learned it when I was trying to study Python, which came down to a failure because Python really wasn't for me. So yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, now comes to the number. So if our pin was actually 7240, right, earlier, but if I write some other number, so it will give me an error, warning, wrong pin entered. So if I enter the right one, it will go down to here. The pin checking is also done with the help of flags as well. You can find the logic inside the program. I've given the links below. I don't know. Maybe in the future, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, so enter the new pin. So before that, I want to also show that these user pins and user IDs are actually handled, and those that login function is also done with the help of file handling. So you can find my file handling program inside the login system package. You can see the login, no, ID and pass. So these are the file handling codes actually. Yeah. Different methods are used as well. You can check it out. I forgot most of them. I have to refresh it if I want to know about it. But I guess you could have really used only the file writer and file reader class. Those are the easiest ones and the most handy ones. And yeah, so user ID, these are the text files I use to store my user pins and IDs. So you don't have to worry about the other number, the previous number, the number left to our current user ID. These are other accounts which has not been registered into our database because I reset the database for this demonstration. So yeah, you can see our pin here. So 7240. So you write your pin as I'm going to set it as quadruple 9, and I changed it. Pin change successful. Now the change appears here as well. There you go. So you understood here. So that's all with our program. It was very fun. It was very it, for me it was kind of like a large project for me, but yeah, it's actually very simple. It was a big problem broken into small chunks, and I solved them one by one. It was unimaginably easy. You can do it too. You can, if you have all the basics to that, it's very easy. From there on, there are some topics which was not covered in our module, but still, I got it from the internet. So internet is basically just a large force. You can just take anything from it. It's free too. Look at me now. I'm a new beginner programmer, and I could do this much. You can do even better. So if you want to use this project as well, you can use it. But I guess uh, it's too much for me to say this. I mean, I am on my high horse right now, but I would rather you implement. Take this code, don't copy and just paste it. Just implement, make it even better. Who knows? You might make me famous. But yeah, you can do it. About the loading effects, right? The progress bar you saw earlier, you saw about four times, I guess. First time was when loading the program, first time, right? And then came the time where you created an account, and then when you logged into your account, and now it will come down to exiting. Thanks for using us. Wow, that seems really harsh, dirty. Don't mind my dirty mind. So this login effect, the JProgress bar, is actually shown in our login system package. It's in our login system package. This is one single class. I surprisingly I could use this with some simple logics into one single class, and the one that makes it different is the argument, the parameter here, the number. So it appears in yes four different classes. In the main class, the one which has the main method, the ATM class, and the other one in the login page, and the other one in the third one in the account creation page, and then in the exiting one. So it is also in the AT machine class in our in-program package. And that's all. I forgot about one more thing. So you can see there the different simulation buttons, right? These are the ones, these red buttons, and they are also round. About this code, the round button code, I don't know much of it. I just stole it from Google again. I'm really sorry once again. These codes were stolen from Google. The logic I just couldn't understand, and I couldn't grab the concept of it. So I just left it, or maybe due to my laziness. But I guess that's all. I just stopped it. And these buttons are round. When you see the highlight, you can see them being pressed. So you could say them darkened, and they are round. So these are some buttons that they have. I don't know who made this, but yeah, it's super cool. The simulation buttons trigger the exit action, and similarly all the others also does the same according to their functions, right? Uh, and when you press one of them, or all except the exit button, which just basically exits from the simulation, from the ATM simulation. So when you press other buttons, and I guess the exception also includes our mini statement as well. I mean, you don't have any changes made to it. You just open another frame or window. So if you press any other than the exit simulation button and the mini statement simulation button, uh, all the simulation buttons are hidden. This to stop the crash or like all collapsing, right? All the mixing of the program. So just to prevent that, it's been hidden. It's all in the program. You will understand that. too. So and then there is also another thing. If you are really worrying about whether this code can be used again or not, or will it retain the information which has been put in already by the users, you can. So if the database has not been resetted and your file handling, the text files are not changed, it will retain the information all at all the time. It will retain it. You can use it again and again. So there's no problem. I mean, you can use it as your project work. So that's all. Thank you. And I'm sorry for the heavy accent. I wish I could talk like an Asian, but I want to be like Filthy Frank, you know. Hey boss. That's all. Thanks. Hey boss. Hey boss. Can I have it?